I wanted to show something here that I should have done 15 years ago. Um, so when I was, oh damn it, oh, I just burned the crap out of my face. I mean, not too bad, but fucking doesn't feel good, and I just touched my nose. Ow. Um, Anyways, yeah, when I was first getting set up in this place here, I needed something to drain oil and shit into. Um, And unfortunately, this little crappy parts washer and a fuel transfer tank was what I had lying around. And I do intend to do something a crap load better than this because this here really sucks. But at the time, this is what I had, and unfortunately, it's still what I've been using because I haven't actually got around to doing something better. But so put oil into this guy here just because it's a convenient place to dump shit into, and there's a little hose from the bottom that just drips into the fuel transfer tank. And then I have a Harbor Freight pump here that just simply goes over into this barrel. And then from this barrel, I burn it in my wood stove that is currently set up for like a drip oil feed system. Um, these Harbor Freight pumps, these are both identical. They come with a little crank handle on them, and there's like a little dimple in here that the bolt goes into, and you just hand crank the things away. Now, mind you, that works, and I've pumped way more oil than I care to admit, cranking on these things like a sucker, and you know, only 15 years down the road, I finally fucking got fed up with it and decided that I was going to do something a little bit better. I would like to get pneumatic pumps for this, and like I said, get a totally different oil drain setup, but this was something that I could do tonight. And so what I did was I drilled out the shaft here for the pump, and then I already had a socket that was cut out on the side of it for a different purpose. And so yeah, drilled the shaft on this guy all the way through, and then stuck a bolt in it. And then now I can get my air drill on there with that socket, and it's just like a little adapter to go to 1/2-inch drive there. Got an air pressure regulator on the drill so it doesn't try to go Mach 3 on me. And no, it's obviously not a very fancy setup. In fact, it's fucking hokey as shit. But that's what I got for the moment, and that sure as crap beats pumping it by hand. And then I'll transfer some oil here and then show the rest of the setup here in a minute. And so now that I got this barrel full, then I fill a little 5-gallon jerry can and take it over to the next step in the process. And I guess I forgot to mention that I got just a piece of PVC pipe as like a level indicator. And originally, my thought process for having two different tanks was that on this pump here, the pickup tube doesn't go all the way down to the bottom, so I figured shit could settle out in the bottom of this tank, and I'm sure it's making a giant old mess in the bottom of the tank, but like I said, that's what I had to work with at the time. So now stick that hose in there, and then if I run this pump here, then I fill that guy with oil. And then just with a very fancy and high-tech funnel, I fill one of these roughneck oil bottles here that is right next to the wood stove that I don't have going at the moment. And so with this bottle filled, I then pressurize it with air and open a valve, and it will push oil up to the tank that I have above the stove. And so then that is the tank that I have up kind of on, there's like a loft type area in the shop here. That's about a 35-gallon tank that I actually just found out in the woods. Some jackass left it out in the woods and I was happy to take it. Because fuck people that want to, leave garbage and shit everywhere. It fucking drives me crazy. And just because I see it's in the picture, that there is a Luke clutch out of a second-gen Dodge that decided to have a rapid unscheduled disassembly. And when we pulled the transmission back from the engine, all the parts just fell out of, all the springs and shit and clutch plates and all that shit just fell out of the fucking bell housing there. That was kind of neat. And then from that tank up there, it comes down to this hydraulic filter. There's the part number on it if anybody's curious, but it's a rather large 25 micron hydraulic filter. And then I've got a little shutoff valve on the one side with the needle valve, and then just a copper line that runs into the wood stove here. And kind of hard to see because there's a little bit of flame around it, but I've actually got just a little piece of brake tubing that comes through the stove there, and that hole on top that the line goes through is actually a factory hole in the stove. And then I've got just a cast iron skillet in there. It's like a little burn pan. And see how quickly this will get going here. Oh, I guess right away. So turn the oil on. Of course, the stove is hot at the moment. I turned it off just because I was getting close to it to put the oil in the bottle and shit. And like I said, I kind of burned my face, and it's like having a sunburn. You don't really like the skin that gets burned ends up being pretty sensitive to heat and what have you. But yeah, that's all I do for waste oil there. You got to put a little diesel in the pan and light it off to get it going, but after that it just burns away happily on its own. And like I said, not a very fancy setup or nothing. It was just something that I threw together with some random crap that I had at the time, and works as a pretty good way not only to heat the shop but get rid of waste oil.